So, I am pretty confused with the Space Mountain storyline because, well, it seems out of order somehow. Let me explain. So, the first Space Mountain was created at Disney World, which is confusing because Disneyland was created before Disney World. So its name can stay the same as it is the first one that was ever created. Disneyland had its sequel. So this one should have been called Space Mountain Mission 2, but it wasn't. It was just called Space Mountain. I've never heard of that one, but there is also a Space Mountain in Tokyo Disneyland. And guess how they called it? Space Mountain? Yep, you heard me right, they called it Space Mountain again. The 3 Space Mountains that we saw are all called it the same name. This one is the 3rd one as it has been created after Disneyland Space Mountain. So this one should have been called Space Mountain Mission 3. And there was of course another one created at Hong Kong Disneyland, and they also decided to call it Space Mountain. So where I searched, this was the last one on the list, so this should be called Space Mountain Mission 5. So this is the prequel to the other one, and it is called Space Mountain Mission 2 in Disneyland Paris. But of course they had to change the name. But as we know, this is not the actual Space Mountain Mission 2. The second version of Space Mountain was created at Disneyland. So yeah. But they should have called it Space Mountain Mission 4. But of course they didn't call it like that. Instead, they decided to call it Hyperspace Mountain and theme it as some sort of Star Wars theme. So that is the correct order for the Space Mountain rides. It was pretty confusing to me. Was it confusing to you? I don't know, maybe it was. Tell me in the comments below what you thought about this video, and see you next time!